In the expansive chronicles of history, few have left as indelible an imprint on the Indian subcontinent as the Mughals. Over 3 centuries, from the 16th to the mid-19th century, their empire was vast, covering areas from the south of India to the north, and from the east to the west. Beyond territorial conquests, the Mughals gifted architectural marvels and a rich cultural mosaic that fused diverse traditions. However, like all great empires, their power eventually decreased. The British rise to power marked the beginning of the Mughal decline. Our journey into the Mughal dynasty begins in 1494 with a 12-year-old boy ascending the Fergana kingdom's throne, a territory spanning merely 20,000 square kilometers. This young prince, a descendant of the renowned Tamerlane, was destined to become Babur, the founder of the Mughal Empire. By the time of Babur's birth, the Timurid Empire, once a symbol of glory and might, had lost its sheen. Tamerlane's descendants had divided it into smaller, disconnected states. In this fragmented world, young Babur faced many challenges, but Babur's vision remained crystal clear. Even though powerful local rulers stood in his way, trying to guard their territories, Babur's determination and military skills were unmatched. Kabul fell to him by 1504, but Kabul was just a stepping stone. His real ambition lay further east. He dreamed of a land rich in culture, history, and treasures, a place where emperors and kings had ruled for centuries, the Indian subcontinent. At the time, India was ruled by the Lodi dynasty, capitalizing on the internal strife and unpopularity of Ibrahim Lodi. Babur marched onto the battlefield of Panipat in 1526. Though the odds seemed stacked against him, due to his outnumbered army, Babur had a secret weapon, gunpowder artillery, a rarity in Indian battles of that era. The thunder of cannons signaled the end of one era and the beginning of another. As cannonballs decimated Lodi's ranks and Sultan Lodi met his end, the dawn of the Mughal Empire was ushered in on the subcontinent. Of all the Mughal emperors, Akbar shines the brightest. Although illiterate, he was a visionary. While he did conquer a lot of land, Akbar's true genius lay in his vision of governance and unity. Eager to find common ground among his diverse subjects, he initiated the Ibadat Khana, or house of worship, a space for scholars from different religions to debate freely. And from these discussions arose Din-i-Ilahi, or religion of God. With Din-i-Ilahi, he aspired to bridge the divides, especially between the Hindu and Muslim communities. It was during Emperor Akbar's reign that the Mughal Empire made initial contacts with the European, establishing trade relations with the outer world. During this golden age, the empire wasn't just an economic titan because of its vast lands and productive farms, it was also a global trade hub. The allure of Indian textiles, renowned for their intricate designs, aromatic spices, and radiant gemstones, drew European traders to the kingdom. But make no mistake, the Mughals weren't just passive sellers. They dictated terms for trade and set their own prices, ensuring a steady influx of gold and silver into their treasury. During Shah Jahan's rule, the Mughal Empire flourished. His reign witnessed the construction of numerous architectural marvels, the most famous among them being the Taj Mahal, a tribute to his wife Mumtaz Mahal. This monument was more than just a building. It symbolized love, sorrow, and magnificence. Aurangzeb led the empire at its peak, expanding its territory to South India and ruling over more than 158 million people. He was deeply religious, and under his leadership, elements of Islamic Sharia law were incorporated into governance. One of his most lasting contributions is the Fatwa al-Alamgiri, a comprehensive compilation of Islamic jurisprudence which remains a key reference for the Hanafi school in the Indian subcontinent to this day. After the golden eras of Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, and Aurangzeb, the Mughal Empire gradually declined. The once mighty emperors who had commanded vast territories and held sway over the destinies of millions became shadows of their former selves. Instead, they turned into arenas of intrigue, where political games were played and conspiracies hatched. The decline was evident, and the empire that had once stood tall was now grappling with internal challenges and external threats. The British East India Company, which initially came to India to trade, began to see a potential to rule India. Their ambitions were realized in 1757 when they emerged victorious in the Battle of Plassey. This victory wasn't just a mere military triumph, it significantly marked the beginning of Britain's direct control over India. The British tightened their grip over various Indian territories, and the Mughal Empire, which had once been the jewel of the subcontinent, found itself relegated to a subservient role. The once majestic empire was now a vassal, dependent on British pensions and goodwill. By the 1850s, the discontent against British rule had reached its peak. This led to a big uprising by Indian soldiers. This was by no means a small rebellion. It was a massive movement that aimed to end British control over India, with Bahadur Shah Zafar, the last Mughal emperor, at the forefront. Though his power was limited, he represented a time when India was free and glorious under Mughal rule. However, despite their strong determination and large numbers, the rebellion was thwarted by the British, largely due to their superior military and strategic prowess. The result was the capture and exile of Zafar to Rangoon, present-day Myanmar, which marked the end of the Mughal era. The Mughal Empire, in its grandeur and majesty, unified the diverse Indian subcontinent under centralized rule. Their courts welcomed scholars and talents of all races and religions, fostering the golden age of knowledge and art. Though their reign met its dusk with the rise of the British, the legacy of the Mughals is intricately interwoven into India's cultural fabric. Emperors may come and go, but their stories remain, echoing through time.